All right, guys. Rogue down here in the bottom right side. It is our final qualifier for PiGFest, and Rogue wants that spot. It's a qualifying best of 5 between him and Nightmare. The streamer zone in the top left side of the map. Nightmare appears to be doing a no scout opening. Is it? What is this? Is this... That's an odd build. Is this Gate, Nexus, Core, Gas, then Core? Wow. Okay, very cool build for Nightmare, guys. He hasn't chronoed probes at all. Was this a 17 or 18 Nexus, maybe? Very cool build order. It doesn't change that much. Gets you an earlier natural, earlier chronos. Also allows your probes to mine from there nice and early. I think the Nexus is about, what, 15 seconds earlier than a standard build order. So kind of funky and cool build. I do like when players mix it up a bit, add their own little take on the early game. No chrono on the Adept. Oh, he's going to full chrono probes. Okay, all right. So notice he doubles that up. Now he's 16 on minerals, 3 on each gas. He'll rally to the natural, really smooth build. That being said, Rogue is uninterrupted. He's going to make Ling speed and then just go for a third base and chill. His Overlord went in the right direction first. I'm not sure if Nightmare saw the Overlord, so Nightmare he might not know which direction his opponent's in. He's going to build a very early second gateway, which I dare say is quite a paranoid thing to do here, because that slows down your Stargate. Now you don't have minerals to get the Stargate on time. Nightmare, what are we doing here? And he's missing chronoed probe production, which is a big feature of Nightmare's play. Historically, the biggest thing I get annoyed at with Nightmare is just how often he misses probe production. But I think he's got a clever idea up his sleeve, and I really can't wait to see what this is. 3-gate without tech? Oh, he's doing the classic 3-gate without tech, but I like this build, man. You can hit a pretty good Adept pressure. They don't have glaives, but he just hits such a weird timing, and he's got a Forge first behind it. Wow, Nightmare's bringing out a build order, ladies and gentlemen. A build order. Third hatchery's coming down. I have to be... Wow. I am stunned. What is going on here? Ariel Ace is enjoying some StarCraft after work. Well, thank you for being so generous. I hope your day at work was a good day. And if not, I hope most of that day has been eradicated by a bit of StarCraft. And hopefully will be obliterated even further by some more fantastic StarCraft. Let's 3D print some Colossus. Friggin' cool feature on this map, isn't it? I love this. Get little Protoss printing bays everywhere. Pig, I'm tired and sick of these cross-platform issues. Let me try something else. What are you trying to do, Thunderchild? Have you got an issue? Because you can just watch on YouTube. Everything's there. It's just easier to find certain commands and things on Twitch. But I've got a pinned comment. If you want to support the tournament, it's a pinned comment. Let me know if you need help with anything else. It sounds like you've got, Twitch being poo-poo heads to you, which is big tech companies and randomly, false positing of people's accounts. Something I've seen many times before. Can be quite annoying. Lings are trying to take out some probes. Pretty good handling. Nightmare loses a probe, loses a sentry. It's annoying, but it's not too bad. Yeah, I think he's fine. Link's on the way. The problem here is that Rogue knows exactly what's happening. So he can make 8 roaches. The question is, when these overlords pop, does Rogue go all in? Oh, he does! He's building Zerglings! So Rogue's decided, look, yeah, you've got a lot of gateway units, but what I'm going to do is your Adepts are going to shade in, I'm going to kill him, and then my Ravager Lings are just going to explode on you because you don't have Oracles to defend. And after letting those Lings in, losing a sentry, losing 2 probes, for only 10 Zerglings, this is going to be so hard because you're blind now as Nightmare. You lost your sentry. It was meant to be hallucination scouting and seeing what was happening in this game. Can he realize what's going on? He sees a drone going to the 4th. That's a fake drone. Rogue playing mind games right now. Nightmare's like, oh, he's taking a 4th base. Little does he realize there's Ravager Ling outside. Nightmare's trying to build 5 more gateways, probing up, adding +2, adding blink, and he's about to see 1 billion units at his base and have a very, very sad reaction to that. These builds are always a bit more fragile. Stargate openings are standard in this matchup because they cover you against a lot of things that could potentially go wrong in the matchup. A lot of surprise attacks get shut down by Oracles. But if you let them in your base, they see exactly what you're doing. An experienced Zerg like Rogue will not hesitate, and he will pull the trigger. These build orders are god tier. They are amazing. They are so good. But if your opponent knows it's coming, they can shut it down with a massive overcommit to Ravagerling. Ravagerling doing it. Nightmare's going to get taken out. I get so sad seeing these sorts of build orders because this always happens. Same thing when Australia would do them. You're like, this is going to be so genius. And then they just let the Zerg in, and the Zerg figures out what's happening, and they know how to counter it. You can't let them know what you're doing. It's got to be part of the strength of these builds is the Zerg going, what the hell are you doing? And they can't figure it out. And they can't make that choice to just mass Ravagerling. But Rogue gets a nice game 1 victory. All right, guys, great game 1 for Rogue. And it's always annoying when you do a tricky build order like that as Nightmare. You probably don't have as much experience with it, and letting those lings in was the doo-doo that kept on giving for Rogue and kept on taking away for Nightmare. Obviously, if he keeps all those Adepts at home, makes a lot of Stalkers, gets some batteries on his third, you can defend that. The Adepts do decently against the Zerglings. Stalkers do okay against the Roaches and Ravagers. It's a hard defense, but you can kind of just have so many gateway units, even without like glaives or blink or anything. You can actually defend those attacks, but you need to really be committing to defend those attacks. And that's why the hallucination from the sentry is key to make sure you're not getting all in. And those depths forcing a big reaction. Nightmare's going to play a no scout build here. And he's got 16 on minerals. He should really be rallied to the gas now because he's already got 16 on minerals. Okay, he does fix that rally just before the probe pops out. Yeah, so Nightmare's one of these guys. Does anyone do this out there? Even if he knows he's going to build another probe, he refuses to build the other probe until the previous one finishes. Like, why? Why wait? You know you're always going to want that. It's good because it's a habit. It does mean you're not spending money ahead of time, which means you can start your buildings a little bit faster. The downside of it, and here you do actually want to pause probes at this point because it's 20 supply cybercore and then resume probing. But it hurts you when you get distracted because he never queues up more than 1 probe per nexus. It does mean if the game gets very multitasking heavy, some players will like queue up 6 probes across their 3 nexi, look at other things for 20 seconds, then come back. Whereas he'll build 1 probe on each nexus, chrono boost it, and if he doesn't come back in 6 seconds, he's missing probe production time. So it's a very high skill, very, I would say, rewarding it when you play perfectly, a little punishing if you make some mistakes. So I'm hoping Nightmare's on his A game today. He gets interest on minerals in the bank pig. Wouldn't that be an interesting mechanic? Can a sentry shoot up? Yeah, but the sentry's damage is not very good. It's actually not bad against Protoss. It does like +4 damage against shields, which doesn't help against Zerg and Terran. But it does make the sentry a bit more solid in PvP. This wasn't close, says KHBR89. No, that was not close. You see, it's a very tricky build for Nightmare that relies on hiding what you're doing so your opponent doesn't know what's happening. And that's how early Forge openings work in general, which is why you shouldn't usually do them 2 games in a row. Oh, I think Nightmare's been inspired by Hero's success with this opening game 1 against Serral at Thunderfire. And I think that was a great build, but it worked so well because Serral could not figure out what was happening. I don't think you can do this 3-4 games in a row. 2 games in a row, I'll allow it because Rogue might not expect it. But I think this is a very weak build if done predictably. Only 1 gate so far. Very quick Forge Twilight. Extra gate does go up there as well. Mana was destroying Archons with +2 sentries. He may have been slightly ahead in those games. I would take a guess on that. Might have had a bit of an advantage. But yeah, it is the best case PvP. You ever try and kill roaches with sentries? I mean, if you've got a billion force fields, you can get through them eventually, but my golly, they take a while. The armor is so impactful on the sentries. 5 damage. No! Good Ling Flood. And where's the wall off? Nightmare with a quick cancel and a quick wall off. But his Adepts... Oh, good snap recall, actually. He's going to save those Adepts. Very well done. I think this is a pretty big commitment to Zerglings. Losing 1 Stalker, canceling the 3rd. It's not the end of the world. But... if that 3rd gets delayed much longer, that's when it can become a real problem. Rogue, you can see, he was behind in workers. He's going to do it again. He's like, dude, if you're not playing Stargate, like... And look, he sees everything. Twilight Forge, he's just going to do a 3-gas Ravagerling off like 45 or 50 drones this time. I would not be surprised if he does the same thing, though. Just commits to Ravagerling. It's going to be a Templar Archives and a Robo now on 2 bases. as well as a few more gateways in the back. Does he go Storm or Archons, guys? I think he goes Archon. Prism. Like, that was a very good defense for Nightmare. The problem is that he's been spotted in his main as well. Oh, these Adepts. I mean, they're trying to not get surrounded, but they kind of step into the surround a little bit. If you can get those Adept shields regen, that would be great, but he kind of moves into the open and a little bit questionable on the control there for Nightmare. You can see the units lost tab massively in the favor of Rogue. Of course, canceling the Nexus, getting the Stalker, the Pylon cancels, all adds up. Now we got 5 Roaches on the way. Looks like Rogue might actually macro this out this game. Archon number 1 is morphing, going up to 6 gateways and a Warp Prism. But like I said, I think this is a good surprise build to mix in there. But I think Nightmare's kind of playing it like it's a ladder build he's been experimenting with and finding great success with, and he's kind of believing in it. It's a bit different to game 1, don't get me wrong, in that he did go 3 gates much earlier in game 1. This time he didn't. But this wave of Zerglings, Rogue seems to really understand where Nightmare's head is at, and he's just picking him apart. Rogue's giving Nightmare nightmares. Yep, good commentary there, Twitch chat. I agree. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Yesterday we were casting the weekly cup, and I was asking people predictions. We're talking about PiGFest, and I was saying, oh, PiGFest, do you guys think Hero's going to win yet another tournament? He seems unstoppable right now. And someone in chat, they said, no way, he's going to get Clem-pied. That comment is just been living rent-free in my head. I don't know why it's so funny to me, but I feel like the moment I'm casting Clem in PiGFest, it's gonna slip out anytime Clem wins a fight. I'm like, oh, he got Clem-pied. I'm just not gonna be able to stop myself. So shout out to you, guy in the chat, for coming up with a kind of funny, gross little wordy thing. Roach Hydra Queen's really good at shutting this down. Rogue's going to be able to defend. As long as he doesn't lose the 4th base, he's in a really good spot here. Storm's on the way as well as +2. I mean, Nightmare's going to get to Storm. He's going to start building Immortals. This is the right army to deal with Roach Hydra. But I think Rogue is comfortable going Lurkers from this position. I don't think he's going to try and force a mid-game timing. Oh, Zealot's getting thrown away. The Archons are going to get trapped. Oh, no. Oh, the Roaches didn't start a step. He could have got those, at least one of those Archons, but he could have blocked both of them. Rogue, of course, has been distracted by the Prism, though. Good Zealot pickup by Nightmare. Juggles the Zealots. Gets himself a few Roaches. I'd love to see a pickup here, but of course the Roaches are distracting him at home. Oh, no, Nightmare. Don't lose the Prism, bro. He saves it. If he saved all 4 Zealots there after killing like 3 or 4 Roaches, you know, that would have been awesome. But still, distraction's a distraction. Not bad. He's got Storm. His 3rd's getting saturated. Nightmare's getting into a position where there is a believable path to the late game. It's going to be a long delay, about, what, 2 minutes, probably 2.5 minutes till Lurkers are hitting with upgrades. So I think in that time, Nightmare can get to about 165 supply and a 4th and maybe five more probes. I don't think he should go above about 72 probes in this game. And he's got to split his army, I think is going to be the key for Nightmare. Right now, he's probably a bit too small on the army. I think building Immortals is also absolutely crucial. Like, he cannot be skipping Immortal production, but is he committing? Oh, he might just be going for a +2 attack timing right now. Let me try and hold this high ground. Rogue doesn't know he's there. Rogue has gone 85 workers, Hive, Lurker Den, 2nd Evo Chamber. I'm going to try and build a few more Roaches in reaction, seeing this move out. Rogue comes in from multiple sides. He can destroy this army. This is actually like really good moment for him to clean this army up if he can spread around it. He's afraid of getting the Zealots like jumping on part of his army though. If you split your Roach Hydra up too much, it can be very dangerous. So he's going to try and just play more of a defensive kiting game, which I think is a good call. Who's lagging? Is that me? Wow, that was a crazy lag spike. Korean server, calm down, buddy. Oh, this is what I was saying he's worried about. Like, it's good to surround if you're confidently pouncing, but that Roach Hydra is getting jumped away right now. Hopefully that Korean server calms down, man. These guys are dead zoes. Oh, I would have loved it if he wedged in the corner and just focused a few Zealots down. Like, if he gets behind the minerals, he could trade out. He's actually run a pretty big chunk of army across the map, and now he's going to fight the Zealots. Uh-oh, Nightmare's got to go home now. Does he use this opportunity to run down the left? No, he's not ready for a push. He's just going to clean up the Zealots and then fade away. Good call. Good call. Clem is French, says on the pie. So seafood comes to mind. Clem pie. Clam pie? Oh dear, I'm getting hungry. Yeah, I don't know if clam pie really sounds like the most appealing thing to me, but yeah, to each his own. For me, clam is just not a very attractive word. I mean, I don't even really know what a clam is, because like I eat mussels. What's the difference between a clam and a mussel? Like a clam, like I'll eat scallops, I'll eat mussels. Yeah, I don't really hear about people eating mussels in Australia. Do we just call them something different, guys? I'm not sure what a clam would be called. Yeah, I'll eat my oysters. I had caviar for the first time the other week. Felt very fancy. It was quite nice. It wasn't the fancy, there wasn't like the really good stuff, of course, but it was pretty good. Yeah, I always hear Americans talk about clam chowder, but I don't know what that is. Like, I don't think we eat clams in Australia. Probably just call it something else. Here we go. Arc on Immortal Storm going down the left side. Rogue has let him get to late game, guys. I really think I got to be critical because 2 series in a row now, I feel like Rogue's had big mid-game advantages and he's kind of letting his opponent get to late game. Don't get me wrong. I think he can beat Nightmare in late game. But I would be worried if you're playing Showtime or, you know, Serral or Raynor and you're letting them get to this stage. Serral or Raynor, what am I talking about? Showtime or... I'm mentioning Zergs and Protosses. I'm so dumb. Showtime or Zaun. One of these guys who's really good at late game. Classic. Got a nice split army push. Did he make tunneling claws, guys? So the roaches do have tunneling claws. Little shiny spikes on their back. Little crystally spikes. Clams are white with a rounder shell. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. We just don't eat. I just don't think we eat that much in Australia. Maybe we don't have them here. Gotta try that Boston clam chowder. All right. Ooh, he's got cannons in the bases. I think Nightmare's okay against this if he pulls back quickly. Lurkers are going to get an okay position. But the High Templar! Nightmare. Got to be careful, mate. His own Zealots will run in, but there's Roaches trying to get in the base. Cannon on the natural does go down. Good storms. But Rogue's just looking to get a good trade-off here. Will he be able to? I feel like Nightmare's cleaning up all right for now. Is Nightmare actually, after this early game, going to get back in this game? Oh, he's struggling on the natural. Needed to warp in some Zealots there a bit earlier. Needs to rebuild cannons in these bases because he's lacking detection. So this is going to take a while for Nightmare to clean up. But he's got a mothership coming out. Oh, man. No cannon in the main. I gotta be worried about that, man. I feel like Nightmare needs to stabilize and get this game to be clean. He's not in a position to do that just yet. So let's swapping in. Yeah, like, Nightmare needs to calm this game down, man. Like, this is gonna be a 30-minute game. Calm it down. There's Nidus going up in your main. Nightmare! 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 Oh my gosh! Dude, Lurkers could get out. Okay. Oh my lord. Just edging us there. Nightmare trying to make us freak out. A few Lurkers are going to run in the natural. The wall off is down. Nidus Worm at the front's going to go in there. Ling's on the right. Mama will take care of that. She throws up her cloaking field. The Lurkers are burrowed on the natural as well. Ooh, his units can only move so fast. He was flying his Tempest right past it. That's what I was talking about. I thought he hadn't seen it. I was like, use the Tempests. Ooh, the Lurkers are killing some units, but it's not exactly cost efficient. I wouldn't say it's super cost inefficient either. The problem is Stargates have now been depowered, and he's so focused on not letting the frontal push come that he's actually really struggling with this. And look at that. That cheeky Nidus in the middle of the production is really cute. Shields upgrades are coming in, as is the building damage. Still no cannon in the natural. Nightmare's struggling way too hard with the counterattacks. He wants to focus on the main army, and Rogue's just not committing to the frontal fight, and he's winning I would call this winning the offlane fights, in that he's only down 2,000 resources. That being said, I mean, there's still a bank for Nightmare. Nightmare's still reasonably solid on 4 bases, looking for a 5th. Cannon's not quite covering, though, and I really feel like Nightmare's just got to have a bit more insurance at home. I mean, this is how Rogue wins late-game ZvT and ZvP. He's done it 1,000 times. He'll do it 1,000 more, and Rogue gets inside the base. Zealots will be able to clear the Nidus if he targets it. I think he's got vision on 1 or 2 of those lurkers. Oh, actually, maybe he has detection on all of them. The cannon actually has detection on all of those. Oh, not bad. Okay, he's not in a bad spot now. This Zealot, he's got so many Stalkers, which are not very good units right now. Lurker's getting some great damage. More cannons have been thrown down. Honestly, if I was Nightmare, I'd have 5 cannons per base. I think he should just have cannons covering every inch of his base. Doesn't have one in the natural mineral line, though. More probes are starting to go. I mean, none of this is crucial. It feels like Nightmare's having circles run around him, but I am the commentator. I should be objective. He's not taking game-losing damage. It just feels like he's failing to get control of the match. And as a player who's played a lot of late game, tens of thousands of hours of this game over the years, I know that when you've constantly got things in your base that you're not quite dealing with correctly, these are the games where you're not watching and your opponent runs in and kills your whole army. And you just massively screw up the main fight because you've got adrenaline pumping, your heart's thumping, you're not quite on top of everything. You're stuck reacting because you're not able to shut down anything your opponent does. Case in point, round 16 of Nidus Lurker in the main. And he's having to pull his whole army back for it now. And that's why I really think cannon here, cannon here, cannon here, cannon here, cannon here. Like, I actually have every inch of your main and natural covered by cannons, just so that you don't have to look at it. And then all of your focus can go on these 2 armies on the front, and you can choose where and when the fights happen. Nice storms to pick at the lurkers. The Morphin Archon as well. Lings are still running around. I love the little pervert Zergling burrowed in the ground there. Just gonna walkie-talkie back home, whatever's going on. Isn't that a great word, by the way? Walkie-talkie. Oh. Archon's gonna take some damage. Uh-oh. Archon does go down. But once again, none of this is crucial damage. And Nightmare's bank is big enough, like, he might just not rebuild economy. Oh, Lurkers kill all the Stalkers and Zealots for just 1 Lurker. Nice trade. Nightmare might be like, okay, I'm just going to sit on 50 probes and just have a giant army. He is rebuilding probes, so maybe that's not the case. Oh, the Stalkers all go down. Rogue. He's doing well, man. He's keeping it at just 2,000 resources between the 2 of them, and that's not where you want to be as a Protoss player. It feels a bit like watching Classic versus Serral, where Classic always has a big scary army and he's looking for a big fight or to pick away at the Zerg. And Serral just runs around the map picking away at his bases and finding positive trades. And it always feels like Classic's kind of a bit too slow to react, you know what I mean? Ooh, the Archon Immortal gets wrecked! And the Corruptors dive as well, but he forgot to have an Overseer. Oh, if he had an Overseer, that would have been game over. I think it might be game over anyway. The wall's down, the Lings are in. Rogue is hammering right now. +1, 3 Zerglings with Adrenal. He's got +2 on the way as well. Spine Crawlers should help defend temporarily. You'll need to send some Ling Hydra there. Not that he has much Ling Hydra. That base is going to go down. The Natural's going to go down. The Mothership Tempest's trying to clear it, with the Corruptors and the Overseers now joining the front. That's going to be hard. The Zealots are killing the Hydras pretty well. These Lurkers derp in. Rogue, careful. Calm down, Rogue. Eat some big Psy Storms over here as well. If Nightmare wasn't so far behind, these fights would give me a bit more hope for him, but I think Rogue's just ran circles around him and picking him apart. And Nightmare really needed to just double down on making sure Nidus Worms and Ling Run buys were not going to be an easy way to distract him. You've got to stay on top of the Zerg player, get those 2 armies on the map and pin him back defensively. But with the way Rogue was able to just keep getting those Nidus Worms up all game long, felt like I think Nightmare was a bit thrown off his game from that bad early game. And even though Rogue let him back in a playable position, it was a bit too late. A bit too little, too late. Stalker, Immortal Tempest, Mothership do come in here. And the Corruptors going to try and fight against that. I think he tried to focus the Overseers there, but no. Corruptors should be able to overwhelm. Tempest going down. And Rogue, of course, remaxing on Hydras, Lings, Lurkers, and a lot more Corruptors. Nightmare's out of this, man. No more economy, no more production. And looks like it's going to be a 2-0 lead for Rogue. Rogue does come in as one of the favorites for this qualifier, so not huge surprise, but definitely cool to see Rogue pick him apart in the late game. Showing what he's made of. Hydra's moving forward along with the Corruptors. The Time Warp is excellent. Nightmare refusing to go down. You know what they say, once Mama falls, it's not over till the fat mothership explodes violently. That mothership explosion graphic was absolutely brutal. I don't know if I've seen that one before. It looked like it was sped up or something. Was that because I rotated the camera as it happened, or what? That was weird. GG, Rogue's up 2-0. All right, guys, Rogue in the bottom right side of the map. He's up 2-0. Taito Citadel, great map for Protoss. Very good for defending. Good for late game. But interestingly, Nightmare is just like, I'm done with Stargate builds. I'm not going to play Stargate. And that's cool. I mean, I love when a player experiments with their own style. He's going to go Twilight Robo. I don't see Glaive Adept starting. Oh my. Are we seeing a Dark Templar build, guys? Oh, cool. I haven't seen this in a while. Now, with this build, you want to do a really optimized start and make sure you hit a very sharp Dark Templar warp in timing. Otherwise, the build lacks a lot of strength. We were talking about Predator movies and if any of them are being good, and I was kind of just being... I haven't watched most of them, to be fair. I just assume most things that are part of franchises suck. I basically am immune to hype marketing, guys. Because, like... I just assume all pieces of art that just take the name of a different piece of art and say, we're going to continue that thing, are going to be bad. Like, I expected StarCraft 2 to actually be the most garbage video game ever. I was like not hyped for StarCraft 2 at all. My friend pre-ordered it for me so we could play together. I was like, oh, okay. Happy to be wrong about that one. But my general expectation of sequels of anything is probably going to suck. Hopefully we'll be pleasantly surprised. This is the 3-gas, 3-gate version, guys. Prism's coming out, but this is not going to be a fast Dark Templar warp-in. Fast Dark Templar warp-in would have already happened on the other side of the map, so not a very optimized build, but it does kind of look like a move-out, and it's got a quick third Nexus. Okay, so this is more of an economic Dark Templar pressure. Please get that pylon. Okay, this is an awkward positioning because you've got a lot of surface area there. This is a diagonal, a kind of curved edge on the Nexus. Which means those two Adepts will get surrounded pretty easily. If you build that in a straight line, you can put two Adepts in a much better position. But this is something that Stats knew in 2016, and every Protoss player has forgotten since then. Does lose the Adepts, all of them, on the third base, and that actually is going to make the difference between him defending the third and not, because he's not going to be able to warp in there now. He's going to have to warp in at the natural and walk over. The DTs are doing great damage, but they're not able to actually kill the base. He's going to try and warp in DTs in the main, maybe. Oh, the Spore's right there, man. That's a risky warp-in, that is. Third Nexus got cancelled. 2 Zealots and a Dark Templar. He's got to get away from that Spore, though. Does lift the Zealot. Nice hot pickup. DTs try to go back in the front. Queens do push them away. You can't be losing the DTs. But the Prism's already almost dead. That Prism should have recalled, I think. Oh, it's going to go to the corner. Might get home. Natural Wall-Off's in trouble right now. Those 3 Adepts, I think, could have killed a lot more Zerglings than what he took out. If he had them, like I said, in the most solid position, you've really got to be careful in early game PvZ with not letting units get picked off. Because the more units you get together, the better they scale against things like Zerglings. But if Zerglings make it chaotic and can find surrounds, that's where they really have a lot of success. If that third hatchery went down, I'd say it's quite good for Nightmare. But without the third hatch going down, feels like a very hard spot. Okay. He's up here. Oh, he's got the Prism. So this time, it's going to be hard for Rogue, but because there's so many units, you can't fit all of them in the Prism. You can only juggle for so long. Units do get to the natural. And did he not lose? I don't think he lost any units there. Really good blink control, guys. So he's got blink and Archons. All right, not bad. Problem is no healthy Prism, so he can't really go harass very well. And Roach Speed, Mass Roach on the way. For 3 gases. No, 5 gases. Okay, 5 gas Roach. 55 drones. Perfect to stop a 2-base timing. Those Stalkers are pretty good against Roaches, so maybe Nightmare can micro this out and find some damage. 420 DT would have actually won this game, says chat. It might have, eh? No one's used to those old parting builds anymore. They're not ready for those timings. Oh my gosh, bit slow on the early blinks. He was busy microing at home, having to warp in. The link counter really doing work, and these Stalkers just not microing well enough. He needed, like, I think perfect micro to overwhelm. With the links coming in from the Archon's there though. Hold on. You can get rid of the Ravagers. Archon's doing well against the Zerglings. That Archon has 16 kills. Hold on, hold on. Nightmare says, hold my beer. Ah, the Archon does go down. The Stalkers are getting so low. More Stalkers warping in. It's a big all-in here, guys. He's trying to just micro back these Stalkers on low hit points. Dodge the bar. The DT comes in, but he goes a bit too far forward. Oh, that's unfortunate. Nightmare wants this third base. That's the minimum. He needs the third, but he's happy to just pick off Roaches and Lings. I think he has enough Stalkers. As long as Nightmare stays calm, I think he should do this, because there's just not enough Zerg anymore. Not enough Zerg on the dance floor. The Spore Crawler uproots. He's looking for the Warp Prism. He can't quite get it. Was that a bad blink in or a good blink in, guys? I'm not quite sure. Drones coming forward. Ravagers, Queens. The Warp Prism needs to pull back. The Stalker Micro is exceptional. The supply is so close. Nightmare has to stay calm more than anything. The Bile does not land on the Prism. The Queen is not targeting the Prism either. And Nightmare, the supply's down for him. He killed 19 drones, but the third survives. Honestly, I think he can just like run in and click the hatchery and blink away if he really wants to. But Nightmare, he's starting to probe up now behind this. If he stays calm, should be able to build a lead, but not if he throws all of these Stalkers away. They're getting jumped on. He's got to get out of here, man. Prism Micro is slick. Nightmare doing some good micro right now. Warping in a few Zealots as well. These Stalkers trying to blink back, but I think these trades are going better and better for Rogue. Rogue has been panic biling like crazy. Finally lands one on the Prism. What an insane, down and dirty knife fight this is. But the Dark Templar comes in. It says, yeah. Oi, come back here. Why are you running? Oi, why are you running? Why are you running? Oi, come and fight you. Come and fight me. And they're like, we can't see you. We'll fight you when we can see you. They do finally kill the Dark Templar once the Overseer arrives. I think Nightmare might be overcommitting. I think there was a point there where he was doing really well and he was kind of winning the game, but he felt like he was all in. He felt like he had to do more damage. You're playing against Rogue, one of the greatest Zergs of all time. At one point in time, he was the best player in the world for pretty much all of 2017. You know, a whole year he was considered the best player in the world. Won a lot of tournaments around that period. Stalker's blinking back. Really nice micro for Nightmare. But the Bile starts to finally land. Big commitment here for Rogue. It's an all-in. 36 drones against 51 probes of Protoss. But look at this positioning for Nightmare. Just blinks backwards. And that's that nice defensive prowess. He's going to blink forward. He says, you can't escape me. He gets 3-4 Ravagers down. Prism starts to pick up and juggle those weak Stalkers to the back. Excellent control, and Rogue is going to have to tap out there, I believe. Rogue is in the dumpster, down 20 workers, and Nightmare will not be going down in straight maps. Yeah, a lot of people still thought Rogue was the better player in the world, even though Maru was beating him. They thought, no, Rogue's still the best in the world. No one can match his late game, and that's what really set him apart. Yeah, he was a bit cheesier than Cyril, a bit more dynamic in his early game, but had the best late game, we thought. And then Rogue and Cyril faced off in 2018, and Cyril took over as the big dog. But it was about a year and a half where Rogue was considered the best. Nightmare, though, puts up a good fight there. Really good blink micro. GG's. All right, guys. Rogue is still up 2-1. But Nightmare gets a much-needed map on the board. Is this the point where he goes Oracle, guys? I don't think he plays Oracle at the moment. From what I've seen in this series, I don't think Nightmare plays Oracle at the moment. I think he says Oracle's not my favorite. We'll see what we can get done. Whew. These guys have hosted up the next game without much breaks. I'm just having a sip of water here in the early game, chilling out a little bit. Either of these guys would be a fantastic addition to the PiGFest lineup. Kind of a shame one of them has to go home here. Rogue is the favorite. The other side, we've got Showtime up against who made it through, Gumiho or Christianer, guys, to face Showtime. You guys can let me know. Update me on the bracket. I'm not sure who made it through the other side of the bracket, but Gumiho Christianer would have been a pretty good match. I think Gumiho is the favorite there, but I think Christian has been a lot more active and has some really big scalps recently. So, you know, I think I don't really know where Gumiho's level is at. We haven't seen him playing a lot of tournaments. And we do have confirmation. Christian who took it out. Wow, okay. All right. Very nice. So we're going to have a PvP match. Dude, Christian is so dangerous in PvP as well. Okay, so this is once again a more standard build, Nexus before core, but it's a no scout until after Cybercore. And Rogue has not risked anything on a 12 pool opening, which is why this sort of no scout PvZ is a good thing to mix in there. You can just get away with it. Such high frequency. I like this pylon positioning. You can build a lot of buildings off that pylon. Predictions, guys. Sorry. Nightmare won game 3. Let me do another prediction here for this game. I'm just going to aim for who wins. You guys just have 30 seconds, okay? Because I'm doing it quite late into the game. I'm going to do it now before too much else gets revealed. You guys have 30 seconds on Twitch to get your live predictions in. At this point, I feel like Rogue probably wins 3-1, but I think this will be a closer game. And oh my lord, he does Stargate. Nightmare's like, okay, I'll play normal. I've done enough ground shenanigans. And I mean, if you can swap between ground and air play seamlessly, I think it's pretty amazing. It's very good. It's you know, a lot of Zergs, especially if you fake like delaying warp gate every game and then start it a bit late so they don't really know if it's Stargate or not, it can muddle with a Zerg's build order a bit. Hey Pig, will the thank you button on YouTube donate to the players? Not at all. We really appreciate you if you do super thanks like that, but that's going to be a super thanks. I think the thank you button is what that is. So YouTube would take probably 30-40% of that. So obviously I can't give that to players because YouTube has it. If you want to support, there's a pinned comment in the YouTube chat. So at the top of live chat, there's a pinned thing, and there's 2 links there. First one will be how you support the tournament. All of my stream links, use that link normally. You can donate when I'm offline as well. Ooh, the links get in. Good probe micro, dude. Fantastic probe micro, but this is a giant link flood all in. He gets the wall off up. And he's got an Oracle this time. Rogue was hoping to play against another build that didn't have an Oracle. And now Rogue sees this and he's like, wait, what? And he's going to keep committing. Energy recharge comes in. You get a wall off. Moving the Stalker to the outside was very greedy for Nightmare. Very, very greedy. Now he leaves the Oracle on. And he is going to keep picking off these Zerglings. And the second Oracle is going to be out soon as well. I think this is a massive advantage for Nightmare, guys. Wow, wow, wow. Thanks so much for the support. There's been a lot of people supporting the prize pool while we were offline. So thank you, everyone who's been doing that. We're almost at 5K as I cast this. $4,000 raised in just over a week, which is incredible. He's still got one Oracle at home, but no energy recharge right now. He's just got a wall off. Oh, he's refusing to build a building to wall off. This is very greedy, and yet he gets away with it. Oh, my lord. Okay. Yeah, rebuilds the gateway. He's got a Twilight Council. He's up 8 workers. If he can now secure this third base, and he should just take it right now. The earlier you get the third, the better, because it puts you so far ahead. But he goes for gases on 2 base. I hate this decision. I think this is a bad decision for Nightmare. You've got Oracles with tons of juice. You've got plenty of Adepts. You leave 1 Adept in the wall. The rest of the Adepts and the Oracles move forward and take this third. Because getting that started, you need to get this started immediately. You know there's still a lot of Lings, so you've got to move out to take that. Oracle goes in on the other side, finds himself 2 drones, which is not bad. Units lost tab is, of course, amazing for Protoss. And the Adepts are now out there with the Oracle. I just think this third got delayed an extra 45, 50 seconds that it didn't need to be. And that means your probes are going to just have to oversaturate for the next 45 seconds to a minute before they can start rallying to that third. It's not the end of the world. Still very difficult game for Rogue, but I've seen guys like Rogue bring back matches from here. That is 7 Adepts with an Oracle. Only 13 Zerglings out. About to be 23 Zerglings. There's only 4 Queens on the map. Rogue has to pull every single Queen to the front. That does force the Shade to cancel. I think Nightmare's done the correct thing here. Just threatening, but not overcommitting. Because look, now Rogue's supply blocked. Having to build 5 Overlords at once. The Zergling goes down to a few Stalkers. Blink and 3 more Gateways are on the way. Oh, is he just going all in on Blink? Oh, he is. He's even building a Gateway forward. So it's going to be a 7-gate Blink. Thank you so much, Tamir. Appreciate the $3 tipperino. Thank you for the glaze. Complimenting my commentary. I appreciate you. Oh, Ooh, Spore Crawler moves over. Oracle will survive. Get out of dodge as quickly as possible. Thank you so much, mate. $3 directly to the prize pool. You'll see that that bar on the website also updates. About once a day we update that, whereas the one live here on the stream will auto-update. Stasis Trap guarding this could be really nice, but other Stasis gets off by one Zergling. Oh, that's a nice Stasis. Kind of protects this Stalker a little bit. Oracles have to come back. Stalker's in the front trying to commit. Oracles do clean up these Zerglings mostly, but he's got to keep these Stalkers alive. I mean, it's not a very well-prepared Zerg, but look, you're already forcing every Queen to the front. Rogue needs to go inject. He's trying to make a Hydra Den, because he realizes Roach is not going to do it. Look at that. He blinks to surround the Zerglings. You can't leave! Looks like he's going to do the same on these guys as well, maybe, or just a move. It should be fine. Yeah, those Zerglings get trapped. More Lings are going to go for the counter. He has an Adept in the wall, but these Lings could cause problems, especially since he's been warping it on the front pretty frequently. Ooh, that's a problem. That is a real problem. Oh, every probe on the third goes down. Rotron does get sniped. Rogue's supply block. Rogue has mass Zergling and not much else on the map right now. Oracles are going to turn on their lasers. A couple of Zealots will warp in at home, and charges on the way as well to help deal with any mass Zerglings. My humble contribution? Dude, no it isn't. Honestly, like, sometimes people come in and drop, you know, $10,000, and people are like, oh, what can $1, $5 matter? But realistically, that, you know, it's really nice to have so many people who've been dropping $1, $5, $10, and it all adds up massively. Many hands make light work. 134 Zerglings have gone down. That's a lot of Zergling hands. Do Zerglings have 4 hands, by the way, guys? Or am I imagining things? I guess if you count their front paws as hands and their, like, little antenna claws above their head. Stalker's blinking forward. Crazy attack for Nightmare. But is it really that crazy when you've got this much of a lead? The Zealots are wrecking the Hydras in the natural. We're going to keep track of this fight instead. The Zealots doing so well. The Guardian Shield helping against the Queens. The Zealots have chased all the way to the main base where the Hydras are getting overrun. And Nightmare is going to take us to game 5. All right, guys. Nightmare in the top right side of the map. Rogue in the bottom left side of the map. Rogue, he was up 2-0. You can't let this get to him, man. I think Ling Flood against the guy who's never playing Stargate's a really good strategy choice. Has a really high win rate percentage. Oracle just happens to bloody destroy it. So the age has come where there are no more large organized tournaments. Sad to hear. Well, I think that, you know, the fact that there was 5 years of massive dream hacks and ESL run tournaments and these giant EWCs was really cool that StarCraft was involved in that. But with no Blizzard support, and pretty much all big esports are funded mostly by the big devs. And in some way, you know, funneling that cash into the esports scene. StarCraft doesn't have that, like, you know, we don't have a developer that's actively supporting. Look at this, guys. 20 Nexus, nice clean build. No scout again in game 5 is very risky, but Nightmare's happy to roll the dice. But the way the community has stepped up has been crazy, guys. So if you haven't been watching, the Chinese scene hosted a massive LAN Thunderfire a few weeks ago that was actually insane. The production just blew everyone's socks off, and they gave us all a clean feed. So all of your favorite StarCraft streamers were live casting that off of the clean feed of the tournament while it was going on. That was amazing. They also hosted a $25,000 online cup recently, the Rongyi Cup, which had a really fantastic finals. The Maestros of the game was held in Paris. Yeah, hopefully those guys run some more tournaments and stuff. If you guys ever hear anything about that, let me know. There's the Bulgaria StarCraft League running over in Bulgaria, and Stara Zagora has been running a few tournaments a year. The FEL in Poland ran a big LAN right after the Esports World Cup last year. Obviously, Tasteless is doing his thing in Korea with RSL. There's people... There's Stellarfest popped up in Canada in November, which is a big $15,000 LAN. It had an amazing production. It was actually obscene how good the production was. You know, so it's obviously, you know, you're not going to have players earning as many huge, big dollary dues, but the amount of just mid-sized content creator and tournament organizer run events and crowd-funded things. Wardy's running an abundance of tournaments. Like the amount of tournaments that Wardy... Wardy's bang for buck in terms of the number of tournaments you guys get weekly, so many tournaments, month to month. His replay packs are staggeringly sized. Yeah, so it's obviously it sucks to not have as many big lands, but hopefully we can have a few more land events. Home Story Cup as well was massive recently. I can't believe I'm not mentioning Home Story Cup. Home Story Cup is such an institution in there. I think planning a massive Home Story Cup 30, because they just did 28 and they want to do a huge Home Story Cup 30. So I think it's really nice. It's cool when a big company comes in, throws money at a game. But I think now that there's no more of people just being like, well, this is only existing because of Blizzard welfare or because of this or that, whatever people want to get silly about. It's purely just the passion of the community and the organizers, running things. So bloody get hyped, guys. Get hyped. It's you guys that are allowing me to run events like this. It's the 7th PiGFest now, which is amazing. So thank you so much for the love, guys. Dark Shrine coming in. Cute build order, but once again, this is not going to be the fastest possible Dark Templar timing. This build could be optimized a little bit. It's going to be pretty quick, but there are spores on the way. You've already shown this build. This time, actually, not as many Adepts. He had 4 Adepts, wasn't it, last time? This time he's got just 2 Adepts and a Stalker. Overlord does see what's happening. DT's warping in at about, what did he probably started that at 425. That's a pretty crisp warp in, to be fair, though it is quite far back. Lair has just started. Creep Tumor will go down. Love to see an Observer come across. I think picking off Creep can be really good in the follow-up. All right, he's gonna. Does he go for the Archon morph or does he go to the main, guys? Looks like he's gonna go for the main base. Wants to try and make Rogue panic a little bit here. Nightmare's got a Forge, Blink, and Probes going in behind this. His work account's competitive, so Rogue, though, is finding the room to drone and build an Evo chamber. Looks like he doesn't feel the pressure. Rogue might be able to take a very nice advantage here. DTs are going to find the fresh tumors. That's always good. 75 Queen energy. Oh, can he get the Queen? Couldn't quite block her with those Dark Templar. Picks up, pulls away. Spore Crawlers root incredibly fast, guys. These guys are 3-second heroes. Just, pump. 1, 2, 3 pumps and they're done. Spine Crawlers take a bit longer. Stalkers warping in. That 10 worker advantage is what I'm worried about, especially with a well-timed roach speed. There we go. There's that Observer with the Creep Tumor snipes I was talking about. But look at this. Rogue can immediately respread this. Oh, he's going to get a Queen. Careful, Rogue. Oh, he's getting a second one. That was great. That was really big. Rogue just assumed he was pulling away, and he looked elsewhere. And he just didn't have his Zerglings right with the Queens. Bit of a mistake. Oh, Observer pulls back. These DTs have started to get some good value. I really like the way Nightmare's microing this. Normally you want to morph into Archon so you can start ruining all these units, and I do think he should do that. Probably morph Archon over here or over here. Somewhere in a corner where you can't get surrounded would be really nice, but just staying on the DTs for now as they have such high damage output. Hydroden's on the way. 15 Roaches have been built. Stalkers are really good against Roaches. Nightmare's supply is not too bad. This is a very competitive game. DT is running around the left side. Are they going to focus the Spore? All the focus is on the right side. The DTs are going to run in that left side. Do they click the Spore? Oh, the Hydra's popping, but they're not on A move. They're on move command. Link counter goes in at the same time. Stalkers are getting a really good trade on the Roaches. The DTs start to do damage on the rally, but they got to be careful. They're rallying into the Spore. Too much happening at once. But wait, they're not quite. They're just outside of Spore range. Those DTs doing crazy damage. The Probes did have to evacuate Nightmare's third base in the midst of this, but oh my gosh. Is Nightmare going to do this with bloody non-Stargate builds? He's caught him. I thought Rogue had defended flawlessly. But the DTs come in, he's too heavily on Roaches, and Roaches aren't good against Stalkers. Rogue's out! Rogue is out! Look at it, we have to watch that again. Rogue is out. I did not reversal from down 0-2. Holy crap. These sort of timings have been dead. Most players say they don't work anymore. But Nightmare has clearly been studying how to make them work. He's got a +1 60 probe 4 gas timing. And Rogue is just pivoting into Hydras. But he's not quite there. So I think if Rogue was just going pure Roach Zergling Ravager, he's totally fine here. But notice, no Zerglings to buffer, no Ravagers to Corrosive Bile. He's got 12 Hydras in production with no upgrades just yet. +1's not quite done for him. It's just finished for Night. This is how narrow this timing is. There's a 20-second window right now, guys. I know I'm blocking it, sorry. Before +1 finishes, a 20-second window. Not only that, the Lings go across the map. And even though they make the third Abandoned, they would have been much better off helping at home. And then you add the DT damage to this as well. And you can see Roaches on their own. They need overwhelming numbers. They need to jump on top of the Stalkers and kill them. I'm really sad that Rogue is out as well, but Nightmare showed some really spectacular play. And this is why we run qualifiers, because, you know, you gotta fight your way into the tournament and stuff. And wow. Oh man, he should have pulled drones. So he absolutely Nightmare. I mean, if Rogue defended this but was still down 20 drones after, he could re-drone. He is making his third evacuate. He should have pulled drones, or like pulled back his Roaches. He needed to do a bit more kiting. But look at these DTs, man. They did so much damage. Kept them alive from the start. Never morphed them into Archons. He never... I mean, look at this. Guys, this game's over. He's lost 4 probes and 1 adept. Look at the units lost tab. What in the ungodly F? The game is basically over, and he had traded better than 10-1. What is this unit's lost tab? Oh my gosh, he lost nothing. What? He lost 1 adept and 4 probes on the third. That unit's lost tab is insane. I'm telling you, if he hits 30 seconds later and Rogue has the Hydras out and gets his stuff together, maybe pulls a few drones to tank, this is a very different game. But even after blinking forward into his face, the DTs are literally... He walled off his natural. I didn't even notice that bit. He walled off the natural with hold position DTs as well. Oh, that's an illegal move. Okay, guys, I'm going to give Nightmare a yellow card. The victory will stand, but that's an illegal move. That's too stylish. You're not meant to do stylish moves like that while trading 6-1 under pressure. Amazing reversal for Nightmare. GG, well played.